Okay, so here we are at Tammany Hall, and what are we doing? Everybody's got more choices now because they've got these offices. They've got to decide what and when they want to do, when and where, however, all that kind of crap. But we open up with the mayor, and Mr. Mayor doesn't have any choices, sadly. His choice was getting those victory points to begin things off. So he's got a couple of pips, and here I should put these at their positions. Purple's the precinct chairman, black's the deputy mayor. Not that this is really too helpful to me, but chief of police and council president. Great. Okay. So, what is red going to do? Well, they've got this sort of base down here. That's nice. They want to defend that. They want to keep that going. One thing they're going to do is they're going to draw themselves 5 new... Oh, I've been drawing 5. It should be 7. I'm not giving myself enough choice. Oh, well, it's not like it's that big a harm to the game. Yeah. There we go. Alright, so we have some choices as to things to go for, because it's nice to build up your defenses, but it's also kind of nice to lay down your markers. And right now what I'm sitting on says white and orange are where my power base are, and I'm fairly heavily invested in white and orange places. Therefore, I want more white and orange, right? No question there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop into here where I already have some power base, and I'm going to grab one of these so that I get another little orange pip. Give me some more power. And now I want to start spreading my power, right? I'm the only person with orange. Do I want to go for Tammany itself, or do I want to push into other areas? This is kind of a nice area with a piece. I could just zip in there. In fact, I'm going to do that instead. I'm going to place here instead of there. Strengthening my position there. Okay, now it goes to the next player in line, who's our chief of police. Now, he can do this in any order, his special ability, or his slander chat. He's going to be able to arrest an immigrant from a ward. Let's look at what he's built up. First of all, he's low on the totem pole. Red scares him in terms of position, but he needs to build up his own power too. And there's a clear location here with green and white, which are colors that he's got some strength in. He could ooze right into there, and he could increase his power, or he could say, I'm probably not the person who's going to be attacked. I think he's going to do that, and he's going to slip into here as well. He doesn't have a lot of strength, and he might be challenged. Now he gets to use his chief of police ability. He can arrest an immigrant from any one ward. Well, hate to bum red out, but dude, you're in the lead here. So let's start looking at what we want to cut back on red. Red's not directly challenging me anywhere. What I'd like to do is get rid of some of them damn Germans, because that is just Red's power. And I'm going to strip him of a German down here. And that's kind of a nasty thing to do, no question. Now we go over to black, and what black's got is the deputy mayor. He's able to grab a political favoriteship of a color each turn. Wow, that's huge. He doesn't have to worry about immigrants here. He's going to just try to build up his power base, but he has no chips to begin with. So he essentially gets an extra placement almost. Well, again, red and maybe yellow are his problem players. Now, it's very easy to gang up on red here. It doesn't strike me that there's terribly an advantage to trying to help the guy who just handed you an office. Because next time, if he's in the lead again, he may not hand you this bonus super powerful thing. He's giving it to you because you're weak. So, where do you want to expand is the question. And I think the answer there is into areas you have a chance at. Yeah. So first thing is look for anything empty. There isn't anything. Who do you want to fight? Well, pushing things against red seems like a good idea. I'm going to drop into here and into here, 2 pieces. And I'm going to grab myself some whitey power. And now we go to purple, and nobody's slandering yet because it's really not until that 4th period. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to skim over the 2nd and 3rd years very quickly, not go into all the decisions. But I want to hit on the decision making because we haven't seen these powers in play yet. He's going to be able to move an immigrant. Okay, well, his own power is in blue areas. He's got a decent amount here. He would like to push into other areas, but there isn't a lot of blue anywhere that red's in. Okay? There aren't a lot of Italians where red is. There are Italians here, and yellow is in 2nd place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop myself into here. I'm going to put a blue chit. I don't know. I'm going to go for full body blows on yellow here. That's kind of my power. And I'm going to say, okay, yellow, you've got a pile of green chits. I don't think you need those. I'm going to send one of them out into District 8. I've just taken away some of his power. Same way as with the arresting thing. It's kind of a neat little thing. Now, purple is making buddies with red. Red is like, yeah, you're taking out the 2nd place guy. That's going to cause some good feeling. And I'm going to give a little red dude over here, just to indicate that they've got some good feelings towards each other. Black obviously has kind of not done that by hitting red straight out. Purple and red didn't fight last turn either, so such feelings might have some effect on the game, but this is mainly a Euro. So, you know, I don't think there's a lot of room for... I don't think negotiation will make this game a more enjoyable situation. I think it would tie down into all kind of number crunching to make your arguments. Okay, now we're on yellow, and yellow's got the council president. He can lock areas down that he's got. Now, he would love to have locked this down when he was the only person in there. He doesn't have a way to do that. Now, he has the slander chit. He could slander somebody out of there and win it, but it would probably start looking pretty ugly at that point. So, he's only allowed 2 of these. Might as well lock one down right off the bat. I own this already. Nobody else is coming in. There aren't a lot of blue pieces, but I'm worried about purple. Purple attacked me hard. He might knock my blue out of there if I'm not careful. Now the other thing is, I have a lot of green. I would like to get more green into play. In particular, I would like to get more green into Tammany Hall area, thereby getting myself another green chit to boot. That improves my power. And now I got to slide into somewhere. Purple's kind of pissed me off, but his power is very effective at hitting, at attacking me. So I may want to fight someone else. Someone like white, who's in an area that's just green. Alright, we've made our way around once looking at how those powers kind of can be used. I'm going to jump back and do things a little bit more from a distance from now on until I get to that last round, which I think is going to be important. Well, one thing I do want to point out, purple's sitting here. Purple's seemed like red's buddy. Purple's sitting here on a space that's just asking for red to go into. It's got orange in it. It's got white in it. Of course, he's got the precinct chairman, so he can push things out. Is it worth checking that fight? I mean, that's a desirable space. Red's looking for a place for a fight. Of course, there are people that they're opposed to. People who've moved in on them like black here. Or people like white who've done something wrong to them. So I'm only going to go in there on a 1. And I do not get that. But I did want to make that kind of a screwing him over, even if there's nothing verbally, you know, even if there's no agreement moving in that kind of situation could be seen as a pretty hostile betrayal of some sort, and it certainly would have purple, fighting with red again, straight up. But I think red's going to go somewhere else. I'm not sure where yet. Probably into here. White pissed them off. Okay, moving around for that next year. See, it's always hard for me to remember what's going on. White went in big into red territory, I believe. Right? Well, red went into here. White went into here. Black spread further against red. And ended up grabbing a white token, but also grabbing a blue token by throwing blue somewhere, I think down here against red. Purple also went with a blue token, improving their position. And they used the precinct chairman to shift a green token out of here. Then yellow went, put a green token back in there and locked it. Is that where they wanted to lock? I don't know. Actually, I think they'll lock this. They went last. They'll lock this. It's Tammany. Well, yeah, it's Tammany. It's probably the most important of the two. But at least they're refilling this. It felt like a gut reaction, but they want to make sure that they're in the bidding in Tammany, and that precinct chairman can keep pushing their green cube out. Okay, so now we're on the third time around. Okay, as we push around into that last voting round, let's see what we got. Red, mainly we've got the same battles being fought. So, for example, purple pushing the green cube out again. Yellow did not put the green cube back in here. There weren't any more green cubes left, so they put a blue cube in here and attacked in there. That gave them a blue token, which is useful anywhere purple is. It gives them added power into here. Purple strengthened their own position in here with an extra piece and actually threw a blue cube into here because they're a little worried that the blue might not go their way. They're an ethnic politician with a lot of power in just one group, and they want to make sure that they keep that group, because if it slides into someone else's hands, they have no power base at all. We can see black and red and white kind of fighting over here. The yellow move against there. That was a big action. So now we're on red. Now here's the thing. Red goes first. If they slander, someone else can play back in. So unless they're willing to spend 3 chips, slander doesn't really do much for them. So they're not really terribly interested in that. They're going to continue playing out their hand. They can play people into particular precincts with the idea that, yeah, they get more votes that way, or it's maybe even better for them to draw for the orange tokens, which can make the Germans more have more of a presence on the board, which is good for them. They have a lot of German tokens, as well as giving them more tokens for the fight. So I think that's where they're going to go. I'll stop in when I see the first slander, I'll tell you that. Alright, I think we're about to see it. The fighting's continued elsewhere. Yet a white, worried about slander, has put 2 guys in each of the areas that he's afraid yellow, who comes out very late and is likely to use slander, will go. Now that's kind of painful, because whether he wins or loses, he's going to lose a dude. It's like committing a chip ahead of time by putting a second guy in the area. But it does make you invulnerable to slander, because only one guy can be, well, unless 2 players work together to slander you, which would be pretty extreme. Black does not follow that. I don't remember exactly what he does, but he's hitting red some more. That put it on purple. Well, actually, no, he struck into purple, and purple is going to slander. Now, what purple's done, he moved these orange guys in because he knows he's going to win that. He's going to play a slander chip. He's going to play a blue token, and that gets rid of this black counselor. He's just won this area. Bang, that's a victory point. That's worth the chip, right? Taking an area for one chip is pretty damn valuable. But now he's going to pay 2 more, because there's blue in here too. And he's going to get rid of this yellow chip. That's not a guarantee. It may be a mistake to do it, but he's costing yellow their main action to go in there. Now, yellow kind of wants to go in there because there's a lot of blue pieces in there. So I doubt that yellow will not go back in there. But we'll see. Anyway, I think I grabbed one of these too, because now there's 7 of them in there. Placed a piece. I don't know what else I did. I should be grabbing more of these. What I don't want to do is put a green in here, because that'll invite yellow in. So I think I thought I grabbed an orange. Oh no, black did that. Well, I'm in the race for orange now, right? Red's gonna probably get 3 of them. Am I in the race for white? Probably not. I'm gonna just solidify my blue pieces, I guess. I think I forgot to to put a chip in, because there were 7 in here. And I only put 1 piece down, I think. I don't know. But I did protect myself against yellow slandering their way at me. They can still get in here with slander, though. I don't know. Yeah, it's really tough to defend yourself in this. And indeed, I think yellow's going to do that. They moved in here. They dropped a green token, and they're giving them another one of these. They're going to pay 1 greenie to ditch purple out of there, because they get an extra token back for that. Yeah, it's a victory point, but they'd rather not have to fight for it. They probably could win it, but maybe they'd heavily outbid. I think it was a mistake for purple not to double up here. That left it too open. Instead, they doubled up here with the offensive blow, and now things are not where they'd like them to be. Used up the council presidents, and now it's time to handle the elections, isn't it? And these get swept back in, because it's the end of the cycle. And we'll come back if the elections, if and where they get kind of interesting. I don't know how many there are that are really terribly interesting. I think it's more the results that are going to be intriguing here. So white won this, and it was kind of important. They won it for 3 chips. Black only put 1 in. It's kind of important because the next combat, they don't have their orange discs available. Somebody policed them. And now they can find themselves an orange cube to put in place, and then they're back in competition for that. The initial stage of the bidding, red has pretty much outbluffed everyone. Now they're running kind of low in pips. White, they're going to be facing, outnumbers them, but they've managed to drain black with bids that were, basically 1 over each time, just really screwing them over. They ended up getting everything there. The purple-yellow fight over the Tammany location, that resulted in a tie with both of them coming off. Yellow managed, of course, to slip this aside. And this is a rich district. Look at all those cubes in it. That, if yellow picks up some decent cubage, they'll end up with maybe some of the bonus chips that way. Secondary went not so well for red. White, for example, managed to kind of bluff red let themselves be chased out of here. But we had positions where somebody would have 2. White had 2 tokens here and here versus a yellow one, where yellow decided not to bid. Now white actually spent a little too much on that too. Black managed to get this with a fair bid, I think just $1. They basically, red thought they would probably lose that and needed to win some of the others. Now we're over into the third sector here, and we've got a couple of fights, and that's it. Because yellow's got this locked. So a couple, oh no, just one fight. The purple-yellow fight. And this is precisely the kind of situation we were seeing before. Purple has 2 chips, okay? They got 2 dudes. Maximum bid they can have is 4. Yellow can guarantee they win by spending 4 chips. But what if purple spends none? Okay? Well, what if yellow bails on this and lets purple have these? That's the question. How much is this worth? For yellow, it's a victory point. That's it. They're not going to win the mayor. For purple, it's a victory point. That's it. They're not going to win the mayor. There's a couple of cubes here. And we could immediately start counting and figuring out, because this is the last thing. I hate doing that, so I'm not going to. But that's definitely what somebody who was really keen on irking out every last victory point would be. For example, well, yeah, yellow's interested in these blue chips, and they've got 1 more there, so that would be 4 for them, 5 for them. Does that win it for them? Because this is more important if it is the difference. It looks like white only has a couple. So you do kind of have to pay attention to that kind of thing. I think I'm going to get the blues no matter what. Am I going to get the whites? I doubt it. I got 2 of them. There's people who are going to have more of them. So this is not worth anything extra to purple or to yellow. And it doesn't look like it's worth anything extra to yellow. So it's low risk. And now the question is, how many of these chips is a victory point worth at this point? Because that's all you're talking about. And smart old them, they managed to knock each other both out of there with the perfect bid. You know, I'm here saying it's not worth it, it's not worth it. Well, they went up and bid it up high enough. Purple only bid 1, yellow bid a couple, but enough to make it so neither of them gets the points, which is pretty clearly putting things back in red's court again. We'll tabulate out the situation, come back. Here's our placement in terms of precincts. 5 quick points for red, 2 more for yellow. White gets 4. They were able to take quite a few. Purple gets 1, black gets 1. Okay, great. That's that. Now we have the mayoral race. And that is going red again. So we can see they slightly won out over white. You don't have this ability, you know, to try to swing votes somebody's way in a runoff or anything like that. Nah. That's where it comes in. Do you want to have the negotiation or not? I don't feel like the game flavor really would make that a terribly fun addition to it, and it kind of saddens me because that was kind of what I was hoping. As someone else brought up, more of that Junta-like feel, where you're actually cutting the backroom deals, not just playing with cubes. Because no matter how you do it, the deals when they're just with cubes just don't do it as well, right? Okay, so now we have our mayor. We have to collect up the immigrant powers and then hand out the positions. And all right, so the political power has shifted. Red still has the Germans and the English, but now both the Irish and Italians are in yellow's hands, giving them a lot more chips, a lot more power for the next turn. In addition, red reacted to the attacks which white made on them by making them the council president, which is, in my opinion, the weakest position. They kept black and purple where they were. They liked purple having one of the get rid of things powers. Actually, they're going to give him the chief of police instead. That's the more, I think, damaging. It's hard to tell because, nah, this one's more interesting. They'd rather help them out with precinct chairman. That's useful to them. Yellow, who's in second place in a lot of ways in terms of power base and in victory points, is getting the chief of police over white. Now, the way red's running away with the game, I think people are going to just start pounding on him. They're going to stop having their little petty squabbles, and they're going to try to finish red off, at least temporarily, so that they can gain some points on him. So as we enter into the third year, or third term, ninth year. We'll see how that all boils out. The only real question here is, can purple kind of stay out of it without pissing everyone off? I don't know. All right, up it goes.